Good morning, it's Joe Parchment, your Gourmet Cave woman. Today I'm going to show you how I make these extremely delicious and moist almond flour muffins. And these particular ones are cinnamon apple muffins. And over the last, I would say 5 years, maybe even more, consumers have become really conscious about having a gluten-free diet. So we're always looking for other alternatives to still bake some of our things that we enjoy with gluten-free flours. So I'm using almond flour here today. And it's a very simple recipe. I have it from this wonderful cookbook here, Gluten-Free Almond Flour Cookbook. And I've tried quite a few recipes. So now that a lot of people are gluten intolerant, including myself, and the marketplace demands have produced a lot of new alternatives. But most of them produce a product that's very gritty and it tastes like cardboard, and to be very honest, I'd rather not bother if I can't enjoy what I'm eating. So I'm basically using almond flour in this recipe, and I really love almond flour because I just couldn't get accustomed to the dry, odd flavored baked goods and strange gritty textures like cardboard. And I'm just not going to compromise when it comes to my eating. I also am going to be using tiger nut flour as soon as my order arrives. That's another very wonderful alternative for people who can't handle wheat and these gluten-y kind of flours. So I'm very fortunate to have found this cookbook written by Elena Amsterdam, and she really introduced me to almond flour baking. Of course, being European, German, French background, I used to make torts with almond flour. It's, used in Europe quite a bit. So anyway, I have all my ingredients ready, my mise en place, that's what they call it in French. Almond flour, arrowroot, corn, a little baking soda, my egg. Instead of agave, I'm using maple syrup, but I'm only using a half of what is called in the recipe. I like to keep the glycemic index down. And here are my tins: grapeseed oil, vanilla, cinnamon, everything, a little bit of sea salt. And then I'm going to fold in the apples at the end because that will make it really moist. And they're going to the oven at 350 just for about half an hour, 35 minutes. So I'll be back with you in a moment. All right, I'm back. So this is, a little bit tricky to film because I'm only have one hand available because my other hand is using my phone. So I've just beaten up my egg yolk, maple syrup, grape seed oil, and now I'm going to just add it to my dry ingredients, and then I'm going to fold everything in ever so gently, and I'm going to do that and come back to you in a moment, okay? Okay, I'm back. So now I've incorporated everything in the large mixing bowl. The dry ingredients, which is the almond flour, the arrowroot, the little bit of salt, the baking soda, the cinnamon, and then I added the liquid, which is the beaten egg, grape seed oil, and the maple syrup. And now I've added the apples, and what I'm going to do is combine them really well, and then I will put the portions into my muffin tins, and put them in the oven, and I'll be back with you in a moment. Okay, so I'm ready to put them in the oven. Now these are wonderful for kids. They actually, if you put them in a Ziploc bag in the fridge, they can last up to 7 days. You can have them with a lot of grass-fed butter, with your bulletproof coffee. They're good for snacks. I mean, they're just a wonderful, very healthy, gluten-free treat. So they're in the oven now, 350 degrees for 30 minutes, and I'll be back with you when they're done. Well, I'm back, and my wonderful almond, cinnamon, apple muffins are done. And here you can get a close-up look how moist they are inside, and they've got a nice crisp outside, and you can serve it with a nice piece of grass-fed butter, bulletproof coffee, a cup of tea, whatever your preference is for beverages. And as I said, you can put them in the fridge in a Ziploc bag, and they will last for at least a week. So it's just wonderful. It's gluten-free, it's healthy. The one downside about almond flour, it's, you know, a little bit more on the pricey side because there is a shortage of almond flour. But trust me, it's well worth it. This recipe called for 2 cups of almond flour. So it's still reasonable, and it's worth every penny. So please don't forget to press the like button and the subscribe button, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bon appétit.